Sleet and freezing rain continue here in Middle Tennessee, and roads are still treacherous. We'll give you a live report from Nashville next on Weather Center.
Good afternoon and welcome to Weather Center, sponsored by 10-10-321. I'm Dennis Smith. As holiday travelers hit the road, they're running into problems with icing across the Deep South. A major winter storm is affecting places from Texas to the Carolinas. And by tomorrow, some of you in the Northeast could be seeing snow and sleet from the same system. Jeanette Jones has the very latest in our forecast center. Jeanette?
Thanks a lot, Dennis. We have a major headache on our hands across the southeast. In a lot of locations, that thin layer of ice on the roadways is exactly what's causing all the problems and all of the traffic accidents. Let's take a look at the satellite vantage point, and as we put it into motion, you'll see that we have plenty of moisture streaming in from the southwest and from the Gulf of Mexico. It's riding up and over a dome of cold air that's at the surface, and this air is very, very cold. And so the end result is, as the precipitation falls through that dome of cold air, it's freezing on contact. Some of the bridges and the overpasses, the hardest hit areas, of course, the power lines and the trees, another area where we're getting some collection of ice. Check out Oklahoma City, 22 degrees right now, 28 in Dallas, and 25 in Little Rock, Arkansas. Just a very tricky situation. As you check out the temperatures, you'll see that it's a little above freezing in Birmingham and Atlanta, so your precipitation is not in the form of ice. But icing on the road has caused a series of accidents in Texas, some of them deadly. It started early in Austin, where 2 people were killed and 15 were injured in a multi-car collision involving 58 cars. It happened on the Interstate 35 overpass in Austin, and ice-glazed roads are also blamed for highway pileups in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. It's a very dangerous situation. If you don't have to be out, it's probably a good idea not to get out at all. I know a lot of you are trying to get to your relative's home or place for the holidays, and a lot of you still have Christmas shopping to do, but it's not advised to get out there. We take you now to Nashville, Tennessee, where we have a crew standing by. Jim Cantore is there telling us about the sleet storm.
And Janetta, you mentioned the people that have some last-minute Christmas shopping to do. They may not get to go to those stores they planned on today here in Nashville. We've had a lot of reports of some of the retail shops that have been closed. I urge you to call the place you plan on going today. For example, the local Walmart here is closed because the employees just simply can't get to work on these icy roads. Look behind me here. This is I-40. We are east of downtown Nashville, so the taillights you see are westbound traffic heading toward Nashville. The headlights are coming from downtown Nashville and heading east, and everybody's moving slow. Even the overpass you can see there, a lot of the traffic moving very, very slow. And what we've noticed, well, let's zoom right down to this exit ramp here, exit 215. You can see how we've just basically seen the ice caked onto the roads. So even the best ice scrapers and the best road equipment cannot uncake this. What you're going to take is just tons and tons of salt to do that. So very, very slippery road conditions as a result of a half-inch of sleet, Janetta, on top of a glaze of freezing rain that we had this morning. And now we've got about 25 degrees with sleet and also freezing rain coming down again. So the problems continue here. They're expected to continue right through tonight and even into tomorrow morning. So again, folks, for those long trips across Middle Tennessee, even down into northern Alabama, you may want to postpone them until tomorrow morning as things may improve throughout the mid-morning hours. Back to you.
Very good advice. Thanks so much, Jim Cantore, reporting live from Nashville. We'll be checking back with you in just a little while. Once again, very cold temperatures across the southeast, and in addition to that, the wind chill is something we're going to have to deal with. Temperatures feel like they're in the teens in Nashville and Little Rock and Dallas. It feels like 5 in Oklahoma City. Here is basically what's happening. Where we have the orange, that's where temperatures are cold enough to support some frozen precipitation. Where we have the green, that's where it is coming down primarily in the form of rain, a little bit of light drizzle. So if you are above or to the north of that freezing line, that's where you're talking about some big-time trouble. Look out for sleet, freezing rain, or even a little bit of light rain, light drizzle mixed in with that. We've had that problem in Asheville today. Just a nasty situation in Charlotte, Greensboro, and Raleigh today. In Atlanta, you have dodged a bullet in a major way. Just primarily a rain and light drizzle event. But north of Atlanta, that's where we've been seeing some accumulation of ice on the power lines and trees. The same problem exists in parts of northern Alabama. A little bit of light snow mixing in for you. Memphis, Nashville, just a mess. Some of the roadways are impassable. A lot of accidents on the roadways. If you don't have to get out, it's probably a good idea not to. We're still looking at some icing on I-20 in Louisiana, I-220 and I-49, but they are open at this time. Some precipitation south of Dallas and Fort Worth. Please be extra careful because just when the roads seem to be getting a little bit better, we get a fresh batch of freezing drizzle, freezing precipitation. This evening, we're going to be seeing that continuing as the moisture is not going to be letting up. By tomorrow morning, we may see a let-up in Dallas, but not so great in Nashville or the Ohio Valley or even into the Blue Ridge Parkway. A lot of you are going to be traveling. We'll try and keep you posted. If you are away from your television set, you can get more information on the internet at weather.com. Now we go back to the studio and Dennis Smith.
Thank you, Jeanette. And of course, we'll keep you focused and updated on this particular storm as you make some holiday travel plans. We're going to let you know what's going on elsewhere across the country as this big dome of Arctic air fanning all the way from the Rockies, the plains, and now the leading edge of it continuing to push on off the Atlantic coastline and driving the front into Florida. Much of the country under the grips of temperatures below the freezing mark. So we went from, hey, what happened? This is like fall weather a week ago to currently looking at temperatures even in some parts of the country below their average reading for the latter portion of December. Look at the satellite trajectory again, seeing how the clouds advancing in from the Pacific right over that dome of cold air, and that's what's contributing to the icy conditions in the deep south. But we do have some sunshine back over the Rockies and the northern plains, even after some of that fresh snow cover they've had with recent storms. Here it is all put back together. Let's look at the temperatures to discover they're sitting at only 13 in Rapid City. Minneapolis only 12. You'll probably modify the deep freeze. 24 in Chicago, 17 in St. Louis, 28 freezing drizzle right now in Dallas, 25 and some sleet. As Jim Cantori reported from there, 27 in New York City. You'll see some of that freezing precipitation headed your way. 27 around the mall at Washington, D.C. right now, and wind chills 22 there. In fact, the wind chills come on down well below zero in the northern tier of states. So as you're making plans for holiday shopping or perhaps doing some holiday traveling, keep in mind you want to make sure that car's in good working order so you're not out there stuck and trying to work on it with wind chills of 25 to 35 below. The precipitation continues to kick up throughout the southeastern half of the country. There are some lake-enhanced snow showers still coming off Lake Michigan, affecting northern areas of lower Michigan. But the main culprit of precipitation continues in the southeast. Atlanta rain, Birmingham on the fringe of rain and snow and sleet. Some little bit of ice pellets and sleet also going on around Tupelo. Back to around the Shreveport, some freezing rain. Here's our forecast. We'll continue to find that sleet and snow tracking northeast. So by tomorrow morning, it'll be in D.C., Philly, and on the burbs, the southern suburbs of New York City. Looks like some freezing drizzle from Tupelo to Nashville. Knoxville to Richmond, Virginia will be on the border of that as well, and even into tomorrow afternoon, advancing farther to the north and east. Some of the precipitation now, if it's liquid or frozen, it's still going to be adding up to quite a bit, and that could be some significant icing across South Tennessee. So keep that in mind. Snowing up into West Virginia for some ski resorts like Snowshoe might be adding to their totals. The numbers look bone-chilling cold, but look at that in Florida, 80s. Got to enjoy that with just a few showers. Should be a good forecast there. Otherwise, much of the country in the grips of freezing or below. That will continue to be the rule even into tomorrow morning. It appears much of the country in the grips of some very nippy temperatures. Teens below zero, single digits northern tier of states. Teens and 20s from Oklahoma to Pennsylvania, and points on off towards the north and east. So, of course, we'll keep you updated here on the Weather Channel, and you can always tune in, get your very latest forecast. If you're concerned about your traveling, we'll specifically help you out with that next. It's called TravelWise, and it comes up right after your local forecast.
This program... I can help you with that. I'll just...
Absolutely. I think everyone should call Zurich Direct. But then again, I'm probably a little partial.
Call 1-888-361-TERM. Zurich Direct, a unit of Zurich Kemper Life.
Right now, it's your local forecast on the Weather Channel.
sleet and freezing rain continue tonight here in Nashville, Tennessee, and the roads are an absolute mess. We'll give you a live report in just a few moments. Stay tuned.
Good afternoon. Welcome to Weather Center. I'm Lisa Moser. As holiday travelers hit the road, they're running into problems with icing across the South. A major winter storm is affecting places from Texas to the Carolinas, and by tomorrow, some of us from the Northeast could be seeing some snow from the same system. Janetta Jones has the latest from the Forecast Center.
All right, thanks so much, Lisa. We are looking at a potential nightmare across the Southeast, especially if you have travel plans. It's going to be a mess, no doubt about it. Even if it's just rain, it's going to slicken up those roadways. And if it's ice, well, as you know, it's very hard, if not impossible, to travel on icy roadways. So let's get the scoop on the Southeast. We're talking about the cloud cover and the rain showers. It is a mess in places like Atlanta, Georgia, where we've seen some scattered showers here. The freezing line being right about in here. So south of that line, we've got rain. North of the line, we have got sleet, as well as freezing rain and freezing drizzle. We've got a very cold air mass near the surface. Above that cold air mass, we have warm, moist air streaming in from the southwest and out of the Gulf of Mexico. So significant ice accumulations have been found throughout the lower Mississippi Valley and on into parts of Texas and even into the Tennessee Valley. Temperatures right now are in the 20s in Dallas as well as Oklahoma City and Little Rock. Above the freezing mark, though, in Birmingham and Atlanta. Louisiana has been hit very hard. It's been a cold, wintry day in Shreveport. Freezing rain and drizzle continue this hour after starting around midnight last night. And unfortunately, folks, it appears you won't be getting a break anytime soon. Expect temperatures to remain cold as more moisture moves into the region, and that could add to problems on the roadways. We have reports now that some of the interstates in Louisiana are closed. I-220, portions of it are closed, and portions of I-49 is being shut down from the Shreveport area. So that's the deal with the roadways in Louisiana. Let's check on the roadway conditions as we head through Tennessee, Nashville, Tennessee. Jim Cantore is standing by with a live report. Jim, what's going on?
All of the interstates are open right now, but reports out of Interstate 24, which is the interstate that heads through Nashville on a northwest to southeast angle, might as well be closed south and east of Nashville because of the problems this morning and also this afternoon. There are single lane operation there, both northbound and southbound, and they are still pretty much in a gridlock there. This is Interstate 40. Headlights are eastbound, heading away from the city of Nashville. We're already east of Nashville here, just near the airport, and you can see how slow everybody's moving. And let me show you how bad it is on the roads. We're going to zoom in to this exit here that we're at. So this is the Briley Parkway exit, and you can see how the ice and the sleet is just caked on the roads. And there isn't a scraper in the world that's going to be able to get that off there. I mean, that's going to take extensive salting and just people basically staying off the roads to remove that. But that's the problem we're having here, especially on a lot of the exit ramps, the bridges and the overpasses, where that ice is going absolutely nowhere. And you can see just how slow the traffic is moving up in that region as well. So a very, very slow go tonight. If you are going to venture out, obviously that's your issue, but you're going to go very slow tonight. You may run into some accidents that'll even hamper you further. And if you are going to head out, please take with you a winter safe driving kit. Make sure you got some extra blankets, some extra food. Make sure the tank is filled up because you may be on the road for quite some time. And it's still cold out here, Janetta. Temperatures only in the mid-20s and the wind chills down in the single digits. Good luck, and we'll keep you tuned here from Nashville. Back to you.
All right, thanks so much, Jim Cantore, reporting live from Nashville, Tennessee. We'll be checking back with you. Right now, I want to check on those wind chills. Jim mentioned that the wind chill is in the single digits and the teens for places like Nashville. Look at that. 11 is what it feels like in Little Rock, 0 in Oklahoma City. 20 is what it feels like in Atlanta, even though the actual temperature is above the freezing mark. All right, there's the dividing line where we have the orange. That's where we're talking about freezing rain, freezing drizzle, and even a little bit of snow and sleet, depending on where you are. Raleigh has been looking at some on-again, off-again freezing rain. We've been seeing some problems with sleet and freezing rain here in Greensboro and some problems back towards Charlotte as well. We take you a little farther to the west and we'll show you the icy conditions continuing in Tennessee. In Atlanta, you're getting a bit of a break. It's been very, very lucky for you folks that we haven't seen any frozen precipitation. Some accumulations of ice, though, have occurred in North Georgia, north of Atlanta. Take Georgia 400, for example, up into the northern suburbs of Atlanta. A little bit of a problem there. We've seen some difficulty in northern Alabama, certainly throughout Tennessee, back towards Memphis, with the ice accumulations causing big-time problems on the roadways. We talked about the problems in Louisiana on into Arkansas, some problems here with ice storm warnings in effect for this afternoon, and that is going to persist right on through tonight. Into Dallas and Fort Worth, the freezing rain, freezing drizzle has let up, but we still see some precipitation to your south and east near Tyler and Corsicana. If you don't have to venture out on I-20, it's probably a good idea not to, because look at this forecast map that we have for you. Still looking at the potential for more frozen precipitation in this entire region. So that may mean new accumulations of ice setting up on the roadways. By tomorrow morning, we may get a little bit of a break in Dallas and Fort Worth. If you're flying in or out tomorrow morning, you may want to call ahead of time. We'll see if, in fact, that moisture feed slows down a little bit. That's going to be key. The other key is that the temperatures are not going to change much from what they are right now, which is not good news. All right, if you're away from your television set, you can always get the latest information on the internet. Tap into weather.com. Now for the latest on the rest of the country, we go back to the studio.
Thanks, Janetta, for the update on the southeast. We go a little further to the north. We're looking at a westerly wind come in across the Great Lake tier. We don't usually look for that wind to be westerly when we're talking about lake effect snow, but it's so cold with that Arctic blast that pushed through a few days ago that we are seeing lake effect snow with a westerly wind across Traverse City, Grayling, Sault Ste. Marie, getting up towards the Canadian area also. Little lake effect snow headed in towards the Canadian area. It's a cloudy day across Chicago, Indianapolis, New York, and it is certainly cold to go with that cloud cover. Currently 24 degrees in Chicago, 21 in Detroit, New York, along Long Island, we're looking at 27 degrees, Boston at 25. The wind chill, it's a factor, but the winds have been fairly light in many areas. We are talking about double digits below zero in the Twin City, around St. Paul, Minneapolis also, Minot, looking at the Bismarck vicinity, double digits below zero, a very cold day. Looking at the forecast, you're going to notice a couple of things. Westerly wind continues, and it's so cold, and this is going to take some time before it modifies. We will continue to see that lake effect snow with the westerly wind. High pressure over the northeast. We're going to see a little bit more snow coming in across Erie, Pennsylvania. We have a southwesterly wind coming in across Watertown. Maybe a little bit of lake effect snow here also. Another system, we go out to the Pacific Northwest, warmer air. Our snow levels are likely to come up a little bit. So we are likely to see some rain showers. And then as the system comes in, we get behind the frontal boundary. That's going to take another day or two. We'll begin to see those snow levels come in. We've got a chance of seeing some snow around Seattle just in time for the big holiday. Looking at that frontal boundary to the south, this is our problem area. We will continue to focus on this vicinity throughout the day today, tonight, and again tomorrow. Looking at the forecast map for tomorrow morning. Tennessee, some areas looking a little bit better as some of the sleet changes over.